Hey everyone, my name is Allison, and today I'm going to be talking about autism. I wanted to start out with a fun fact about it. Currently, 1 in 68 children are diagnosed with autism. 1 in 42 of those children are male, and 1 in 189 of those children are female. So as you can see, there's quite a difference in the prevalence rate between males and females, but 1 in 68 children overall are diagnosed. So that is very high rate compared to what it was many years ago, and that rate continues to rise. So that is why I think it's very important to discuss, because it is in fact growing in our society. And unfortunately, I don't think that as many people as we should have know what autism is. A lot of people hear the word autism and they understand that it's a disability and kids are often underdeveloped, but they don't know the true characteristics of what autism is. Now, autism is a spectrum, and that is right in the name. It's called autism spectrum disorder, which means that every case is different and no two kids are going to have the same characteristics. But the 3 that I'm going to discuss today will give you a little bit of insight on what they are. This is really important to me personally because I am an in-home behavioral therapist and I get to see 7 different children, 6 that are male, 1 that is female, and I get to see all 3 of these characteristics but on very different levels between them. So the first one is an increase in behaviors. So we often use the word meltdown when talking about kids with autism. Now, I know everyone has meltdowns. That includes 2-year-olds and 25-year-olds. But what comes along with autism is the spike in aggression. So we have kids that are very aggressive, and when they are attention seeking for an adult's attention and they don't get it, they display aggression. When they are trying to get out of a task by using manipulation and they don't get it, they start to have aggression. So that becomes a main factor in autism. Another characteristic is a difficult time with social interactions and often communication delays. So this can range from lack of eye contact, struggling to communicate with peers appropriately, social awkwardness, and then also your general communication delay. So a child starts babbling at 3 instead of younger, and they don't start talking until 4. So those kind of things are seen too. One last characteristic is that individuals with autism generally have sensory sensitivities. Now this can be hyposensitive or it can be hypersensitive. So this can mean that kids need that constant input. They need deep pressure, they need squeezes, they need someone's touch, or it can mean that the slightest thing overstimulates them. So for example, you walk into a room and the lights are too bright or the noise is too loud. Then they have those issues, and then that's where we see the meltdowns or the aggression because they don't know how to appropriately handle that. So all 3 of these characteristics come in fact as with kids with autism. Some kids might not have all of them. Some kids might have all of them. It all depends on the case, as every kid with autism is different and nobody will ever be able to say 2 kids are the same. So until exposed to it, I don't think that a lot of people understand truly what autism is. Hopefully these 3 characteristics can put into perspective for you what clinicians look at when they diagnose kids with autism. So just because a kid has a lack of eye contact obviously does not mean that they are autistic, but if that goes along with not being able to make friends and having increased aggression and they need constant input from you, well then you might be able to look at it and say, okay, well then maybe my child or a child I know has autism. The reason I bring this up is because early intervention is key. And when we have people that aren't aware of what autism is, and we don't get that early intervention, kids can struggle later on in life, which makes things obviously a lot more difficult. So another reason why I wanted to share these 3 characteristics with you was because it will allow you to spread the word and give you insight as to what main characteristics of autism are, so you can be more aware in society. So if increase in aggression, lack of social communication and interaction, and hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity to sensory are all 3 things that can come with autism, and they're the 3 main characteristic criteria. So I thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful night.